Hi, we are going on another beach trip today. We are going to Worm's Head and I am taking the mask and snorkel again, and we're going to try and find some more sea life. I think the boys are going to do some cliff jumping and it's going to be a fun day. See you in a bit.
Touch the fire. The summer's calling. The summer's calling. If the kingdom is overthrown, meet me at the cornerstone. I know that I can't be without you. This bond is solid gold. We're a diamond and an emerald. It took me forever to find you.
Rhossili is a small village at the southwestern tip of the Gower Peninsula in Swansea. It was noted as one of the first areas of natural beauty in the United Kingdom. Where we were walking was an area of tidal land called Worm's Head. This island is accessible only at low tide, and you may remember seeing the island from a different perspective in my Welsh road trip video, in which we hiked to the end of the island. There is an incredible amount of sea life around the island, including seals and many different types of bird. That you can see a great Atlantic seal, usually the vicinity of the causeway and Worm. Harbour porpoise, best looked for on calm days off the Worm in Rhossili Bay. Birds, common scooter, oyster catchers, tom-tone, purple sandpiper, Dunlin cormorant. On this day we decided to not hike to the island as the tide was in, but take a sharp right steep path down the cliff to a picturesque cliff jumping spot instead. Zach, are you excited? Look at him go. It was a bit of a tricky climb down, but then it was time to have some fun. We then put on masks and snorkels and skirted around the coastline in search of interesting sea life and cool geology. We also saw more ctenophores here, and if you look closely you can even see the rainbow bioluminescence on this one. The water was far clearer here than Oxwich, possibly because it's on the west coast rather than the south. We found a little cave, and despite it being a bit creepy and full of plankton, we swam into it.
Oh, there's a proper cave back there, look! Whoa! Oh my god, look how clear the water is.
I was finding my ears were hurting a little diving down, so I asked Zach why that could be.
You gotta equalise, you're holding your nose and then blowing into it.
I was like kind of taking stuff on my nose.
But the more you do it, the more flexible they get, and so I don't really need to do it that much anymore. It's a moon jellyfish!
Really? As you can see, we also found a moon jellyfish. These are the most common jellyfish in the UK seas, and they can be anywhere from 5 to 40 centimetres long. Interestingly, they are 95% water and have no brain, blood or heart. They have short, delicate tentacles, but don't worry, they won't sting you.
No.
We then tried to find spider crabs. We used a clear plastic bag to pick them up, and I think this clip perfectly illustrates the importance of not letting plastic bags enter the ocean. Even to me it looked like a jellyfish. I can really see how sea turtles mistake them for food. We were very gentle with them and put them all back afterwards. I even overcame my fear and held one for the first time, and as you can see, they were very spiky. Wait, I freaked out yesterday, but I'm not going to freak out today.
Freak out?
Ow, ow, it's ow! We had a lot of fun learning about how they camouflage themselves and where they live, which is usually around rocky and broken coastline and offshore down to depths of 100 metres.
As we wait for the smoke to clear and we watch our dreams appear, I know that we can rise together. This vision that we share is ours. Together we can touch the stars. I know that we will.
Time to get the new board. So I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk a bit to you guys about surfing, and obviously you've seen in all the previous clips about my new board, and I'm absolutely stoked about this board. If you guys have any name suggestions for it, I love naming things. This car's called Sebastian, leave them below. But I wanted to talk about like my background with surfing and why I'm sat in the car alone talking to you guys now, basically. So I started when I was about 15, and it was once a year when I went to Cornwall, and I would go out on the days where the waves were 6 foot, and I'd get absolutely destroyed constantly and wonder why I wasn't progressing. And that continued for like 3 or 4 years. I'd catch the occasional like 3 or 4 foot small wave, but I just didn't progress for ages and ages. So then I came back here and I bought myself a mini mount, I think it was 7.6, and I thought, right, this is the time. I'm living by the beach, I'm living by the surf, I need to learn properly to surf. And the mini mount was great for a while, but it being such a long board, I felt it really hard to maneuver around, and actually that made my confidence drop lower, surprisingly. And I just felt last year that, like, why can't I get better? I could see everyone else just sending it, and I felt really disheartened by it all. And I love the ocean to bits, but it terrifies me, and I think you're kind of crazy if it doesn't terrify you. I've seen the power of it numerous times, and just being a kayaker with the water, knowing how it can hold you under for so long, but also be the best, incrediblest thing you've ever seen, I think it's really grounding. It really brings me back down to earth, but at the same time, I'm not going to beat around the bush. It does terrify me at the same time. Earlier this morning we went out and the waves were 46 foot. It was about 30 mile an hour winds onshore, so it was going to be really choppy. And I took this board out. It's my new board. I took it out for the first time, and I had some confidence, and I went out there, I went out back, I caught some waves, I did some turns, and I felt pretty invincible. This board just spurred me on and made me feel so much better than I guess I am. But this morning I felt on cloud 9, and I was just itching to get back in the water this afternoon. And then this afternoon rolled around, we came back, put on my cold wet wetsuit and headed out, and suddenly everything was different. My mindset was different. The waves were booming, the white water was so powerful, and they were all breaking onto each other, but people were still getting out back, and I was just getting pushed back, and waves were breaking on me, and I felt really disheartened. Honestly, at one point I just could have cried in the water, and it sounds so pathetic. And I just kind of felt at that moment kind of alone. I felt like everyone else was going out and nothing had changed from this morning, but for me, I had such high expectations of myself from this morning, and when I went out this afternoon, just getting a beat down and getting washed up onto the shore every time, I felt like, why am I even out here? And I kind of hung my head down and walked back in and sat on the sand watching people for a bit, and I kind of realised something, and that's why I'm sat down here alone in my car talking to you. Expectations, confidence, and self-belief go completely hand in hand. This morning I was so confident. The waves are the same. I was so confident with myself, and I was so happy and raring to go, and I had so much belief in myself that I just powered through, and I didn't let any of the fear or the anxiety kind of creep in and give me these questions in my mind like, oh, what if I can't, or what if I get a beat down, or what if, and it's those questions. And I kind of came out afterwards, the second surf, thinking, I've just achieved nothing. I've literally just gone in, kind of made a fool of myself, got washed up on shore, got cold and wet, and come back to my car, and I got pretty disheartened by that. But I sat for a while and I really considered everything, and I thought to myself, to be honest, I paddled well. I got beat down, but I came back up and I kept calm. I did a turtle roll for the first time, and that sounds so insignificant, but I think with any sport you have to appreciate the small things, otherwise you'll get disheartened continuously. I think by me setting, like this morning I had no expectations because it was the first surf in the whole of quarantine, and I just wanted to get out in the water and have some fun, and for some reason that surf and the second surf changed so much. And the second surf I was like, right, I've had fun this morning, now it's time to catch some waves, do some turns, learn to duck dive and all of this, and it changed my whole mindset about it. So what I've taken away from the second section is that expectations are just, for me, it's just silly. I need to just have fun, and me having fun this morning, I exceeded any possible expectation I could have had, and for next time, I've got that to take away. But I just kind of want to let you know that, like, I wouldn't say this is a setback at all, because I'm very beginner intermediate, but I have quite high expectations of myself, and I shouldn't, because everything is different. No two waves are the same. No, like, the weather's different, my mindset's different, I'm tired from earlier, and all these things add together, and you don't see that when you look at all those people heading out and getting out back and sending it, but they probably feel that too, they just don't show it. And if anyone's watching this and is kind of getting into surfing and feeling like they just can't progress, or they're just not good enough, and you know, feeling really down about that, I just wanted to let you know you're definitely not alone. There's definitely, like, I'm out here feeling a bit, you know, meh about the whole thing, but I know that tomorrow, the next day, I'll get out with a new, refreshed mindset and have fun. Literally, I'll have fun, and I need to count the little things. I think that's really important. If you even just paddle, even if you swim, like, anything you can congratulate yourself on. You can say, I went in the ocean today. Congratulate yourself on that. Or say, I don't know, I turned my board, or I paddled really hard, or I didn't get scared for a wave. I think when you start looking at the small things, you start to feel more confident overall. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say that a little bit. But I'm gonna head back to the beach now, and I hope you all enjoyed the video. Sorry it ended on a bit of an odd note. I kind of think these things are important to talk about, because it's very easy for everyone to think everyone's always confident and everyone's always believing in themselves, but just want to let you know you're not alone if you are feeling that. And tomorrow's a different day, and I'm sure it will be great. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you all again next Monday. Hope you're all well still, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a like and click subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
Touch the